Yo, welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. But what I wanted to say was cornerback is not the hardest position to play in football. I don't really understand this narrative. Actually, I do. That's not true. I understand this narrative completely. I think it's because people think it's scary to guard wide receivers. And honestly, I think a lot of these people just haven't really played cornerback before. So if you know me, I've played wide receiver, and I'm not gonna lie, I've never like started as a DB, but I have like taken reps at DB at practices and stuff like that. So, and this is what I'm going to say: as a wide receiver, first of all, it takes a lot more skill to play wide receiver, and I'm going to tell you why. If you take a basketball player or a track star who's never played football, you can teach him how to play corner because he's fast enough and has athletic ability. If a player has the athletic ability to play corner, then he can play corner. But with wide receiver, I don't care if you're Usain Bolt. Bro, if you don't know how, fuck the ins and outs of the route, okay? Maybe you're fast, but do you know how to cut properly? And also, you have to be able to catch, and catching is a separate skill in its own. That's why, that's why DBs in the NFL are just as athletic in terms of speed and strength as wide receivers often. Maybe a little quicker, maybe not as strong. But being able to catch a ball at full speed, boom, cut, bam, the ball's right there. That is way different than just tracking the guy. That is hard. That takes skill. That is mental. That is physical. That is fast. It's quick. And you might do everything right and perfect and almost perfectly cut clear and then drop it because the ball comes hella fast and quarterbacks don't hold back often. So I don't really understand the argument of cornerbacks are playing quarterback is harder. I think it stems from people think it's easy to burn a cornerback. And I am going to say, like, playing cornerback and not getting burned every play is hard. But what I also want to say is something you got to recognize is if you've played corner, you know this. A lot of times, this happens a lot. A corner will be covering a wide receiver. A corner will be covering a wide receiver. And the wide receiver goes deep, right? The wide receiver goes deep, and once the wide receiver goes deep, the corner follows him, but he gets burned. Okay, he gets burned. But the quarterback doesn't look at him. The quarterback doesn't notice. He hits a check down, or he's looking that way. He got chased out of the pocket by the defensive line. Like something happened. Something happened. You get what I'm saying? Like, so this idea that corner is the hardest to play, it's just not. It's just not, because it's actually one of those positions where, yeah, you could do everything perfect and still get punished. You could get mossed, but at the same time, you could totally fuck up and the cornerback just doesn't know. And it happens decently. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to say often, but it happens, sometimes. And also another thing, if you play wide receiver and you know how scrappy DBs are, bro, like, it's hard. I think it's way harder to fucking run and try to catch a pass while a dude's doing this to you, grabbing your jersey, doing the most, pushing you, talking trash, trying to get in your head, getting you flustered, and you have to stay in your zone, dude. And the ref isn't fucking calling it, but DB is harder. Hell no, dude. Hell no. Dude, DB is not harder than wide receiver. I don't even think it's harder than linebacker. Dude, linebackers are in the hole dealing with offensive linemen trying to block shed them, constantly tackling running backs, putting their bodies on the line. Offensive linemen are constantly colliding. If it's a run play, the corner doesn't even have to do much unless the running back, which I'm not going to say rare occasion, but again, like sometimes ends up running on the outside. Dude, cornerback is not the hardest position in football to play. If you're a great athlete and you've never played football, it's the easiest.